if everyone is ready, we can start. So it's a result of 3-1. What can you say, coach? We can say it's we are very upset. We thought that we were really strong to get out of this group, and after all this, yeah, we couldn't. And we had the aim of writing a great story here, but we couldn't really make use of this chance. And exactly the opposite of what we were expecting happened, and we just gave a very low expectation to our supporters. It's important to be strong. It's important to have a good character, but especially after the first loss against Italy, we just lost the concentration, and we had really did not really show the character we were supposed to. And today I found the team was kind of better, but we still could not get rid of this, and the rival really just scored the first goal, and then we had to. So the first half, we can say it was really an unfortunate first half for us. So, but when you talk about the general of the game, we just saw in the moments that we had we lost the ball and we just missed the target. We missed the touch of the ball. So they are a very talented team. They have very talented players. It was a game that we could have won. And especially, I would say the same thing for the Wales game as well. We could have won that game as well. So on the first two games, Italy and Wales game. So I think the Wales game was really under the shadow of the Italy game. So because of that psychology, and I wanted that my lads to show themselves, and they are very upset for that. They couldn't show themselves. So this was the first time that they had the experience of participating in this tournament. It's a big experience for us, for me, for my team, and we could have gone through this experience in a better way. And I hope that they will. It still adds something to their experience, football experience, and I believe that this group is going to really stamp the next 10 years of Turkish football. And it's very sad to be going home after this. And I believe that this was a team who can overcome this. But I still believe in them, in their talent. They still have such a chance to continue. Like they know that they can work harder to get to do great things in the future. So, coach, we are really sorry, and I can just define this as a catastrophe for us. And in such tournaments, we would just have something to pay for this. Who's to blame, coach? So is it the federation, is it you, or is it the players? So what do you mean by catastrophe? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by catastrophe? I mean, in terms of football and in terms of the results. So you check on the results, you check on the statistics of UEFA, and you see that they are not really great. So in technically speaking, like about running, about the passes and everything. Yeah, I can say that this all started with the game against Italy, and everything we imagined there physically and tactically or technically, and all this was used against us by the opponent, and we thought the same thing. We could just have realized this against Wales. I just agree with you. We were really behind. We fell behind in terms of playing. But yes, I know that everybody has shown what they can, and then I know I'm the manager, I'm the coach of this team. I just know, I just show all I could. I openly share all this with you or to the public. So if you know, it's nobody's to be blamed for that. So we have another question from a reporter from Hürriyet. So coach, we are sorry for this score. So there was a team which we called outlets as an expression, and this team deserved really a great tournament. You know, when you look at this eliminatory phase and all the games that you played against France and all these teams, like, and you can say that we see that, you know, like the way you responded to these teams during this tournament is quite surprising. It's really unbelievable. And we really made history in a bad way, like, you know, with the statistic of this game. So what would you say about that? I would say that we really fell behind of our game, our usual game during the tournament. So I agree with your general opinions, but there is one thing that I need to point out here. So on the 17th or on the 18th of May, we started the preseason. So with the game, the players who participated were the ones who were the local players. So most of the players who came afterwards, like around the 20th of May, they were the players who, from the European leagues, so from England, from France, from Italy, you know, all those leagues. So they just needed a couple of days to rest after they came for the preseason. So we can just say the same thing for the other teams as well. Maybe we could just discuss, you know, how effective this was in the course of the games and everything. But, you know, the Turkish players, like local players who just finished their league earlier, and some of them, they might have the fatigue, like early fatigue. But some of the others, they didn't really feel this fatigue of the league, you know, afterwards. But after the game against Italy, in the game against Wales, we could not get over this fatigue. When I just look at the game, Wales game, so you just, if you look at the Switzerland, you see that it's a team which tries to keep the ball, possess the ball against its rivals. So I accept that physically we were really missing there, but I don't think this can be related or referred to the preseason, the inefficient preseason. So I saw that there were some players who really fell from the game, like Hakan, Burak, you know, these players, you can just say that they fell from the game, or Cengiz, because he had less trainings, or the Meri, who were just out of the injury. These are the things that can happen. But when you add all up to this, you just accept, we couldn't create a team that plays with a high rhythm. And like you said at the beginning, so if these are our kids, they are still our kids in failure or in success. And I still believe in them. I know that in the next years, they will still be the best players for Turkish football. But we could not do it in this tournament, so this is about it. So, Coach, we are really sorry for this result tonight. Before this game, we had the explanations of Shaqiri and the Wales team. So they just all said that we know about the weakness of Turkish national team. So why do you think they said so? Do you think we are so visible in terms of our weaknesses as a team? Because this is what the Wales coach said and the Shaqiri said. So how did we manage to beat this team, which is very visible in terms of our weaknesses? So what can you say about the Switzerland? They just lost 3-0 against Italy, and they played very well game against us. So, you know, we just played against Italy as an opener. So, and you know, it was a hard game. And we just came after the first game to Baku here, and you know the ambience, the negative ambience we had in terms of the first game against Italy. So we tried to correct this, but we could not really show this on the pitch. We could not reflect this on the pitch. And if you speak about the Switzerland, it's a team which can really expect losing against Italy. So, but yeah, you know, you're right over there, because we could not really use very well our chance against Wales, and this is also valid for Switzerland when they just won So they had the chance, if they had won, they had the chance to be the second, the runner-up of the group. So why did Wales manage that? Because they just used their advantage, you know, in the first two games. I don't want to go into all these details because we can criticize our game, we can criticize the weak sides of our... Yes, what was your other question? Yeah, about the weaknesses, yeah. And yeah, we say all the same things about these teams, you know, because all teams have it. In the Wales game, so all these passes, all these shootings behind the defense, so we just saved them. You know, it's all about the result, it's about the score. We know how Wales and Switzerland played before the game, so we can talk about all this, but what's important is how you play on the pitch. So a couple of shootings that we had over there, they were really quality ones. And that of the Mert or that of the Khan. So, but when they did that, it just entered into the 19. So this can happen. So we just conceded and they just scored. You can criticize looking at all this, and we can also say that we didn't correct this side. And sometimes we were much better, and on the struggle, one-to-one struggles, sometimes we were not, and we just, you know, could not when we were just counter-attacking. So this is all about the mistakes that we made. This is what football is about. So you can just check on your mistakes, and in the last two games, that I can say that we did really good stuff, you know, sometimes. And we made mistakes also, that's why we lost these two games. So is there any last question so we can ask Mehmet Özcan, maybe it's your question there. So the coach, after these defeats, you just said, I am to be responsible, and you just finished the tournament now. We have the World Cup beyond us. Do you want to resign? Would you resign? So my thought is not about resigning now, and we have done what we were supposed to do, you know, so we're talking about the World Cup now, so we can also do the calculations for it, but we are not to be accounted for you, but we are to be accounted for the management. So, but if you ask me, I am saying I'm responsible because I am to be responsible because I am the manager of the team. So if you were responsible for the management of the team or for the direction, for anything, or managing the team like I am doing now, as I am to be responsible for that. But the response I would give to this result, do you think, yeah, you would just say that it's not going to be about resigning or anything. So you are to comment on that.